So you watched the video with completing the square using algebra tiles. Since algebra tiles aren't readily available to you, it might be better to complete the square using this model where you draw the square. All right, so let's do one of these together. So the first thing you do when working with an equation is you want to take the c term, right, the constant, and bring it to the other side, okay, because you're only looking at your a squared plus bx part of this equation to complete the square. Okay, so we're completing the square using this. Okay, so just like we did with the algebra tiles, the x squared piece was laid out, and then we have 14 x pieces, right? So I would put 7 of the x pieces here and 7 of the x pieces down here, okay? Making the length up here, this would be x units, and this length would be 7 units of 1. And then this would be x, and this would be 7, right? So I have an x plus 7 by x plus 7 square, okay? And then I have to figure out, well, what do I need in here to complete the square? All right, I have 7 units going this way, I have 7 units going this way, which means I would need 49 units to complete my square. So I want to add 49 into this. The only way to do that legally then is when I have an equation, I do the same thing on both sides. So if I want to add 49 to the left, I just have to make sure that I have added 49 to the right. All right, and that keeps my equation in balance, which is how I know I'm changing the appearance and not the value. All right, so with an equation, I maintain balance by doing the same thing on both sides. Okay, so I get here, and then I say, okay, well, how did I make this a square, right? X squared plus 14x plus 49, that is from taking x plus 7 and squaring it. All right, so I get x plus 7 equals 110. Okay, so come over here to number 4. Why don't we pause the video? And, oh wait, this one's too easy. Yeah, let's do 5 then. 5's at least got a little bit of harder number. So let's take a look at 5, and I'll help you out on 5 to get you started. You always want to have your x squared plus your bx term on one side, right? And then your c term on the other. Okay, so pause the video and try this. Okay, so to check your work, you should have taken that 16x, put half here and half of it down here, right? And then you have an 8 by 8 region to fill in, which would be 64. You would add 64 to both sides of the equation. All right, so let's see, if I add 64 on the right, I get 136. And then when I add 64 on the left, the result is x plus 8 squared. Okay, so let's see what this has to do with circles. Right, when I am working with circles, and I'm working with the standard circle formula, right, which is right here, so I gave you this the other day, I have to be in this form of either x plus or x minus something squared. Okay, if I don't have that form, then I need to get it into that form. So let's do this one together. First thing I recommend is group all your x terms together and then all your y terms together. All right, so we're going to have to complete the square twice. Once for our x terms, once for our y terms. And let's take that 181, and let's bring that over to the other side. Now, what I'm going to suggest that you do is, I think we've done enough practice here. Actually, the first two at the top, we did those on the prior video with the algebra tiles. And we don't need to do these because I think you guys probably have gotten the point. So I'm actually going to make use of the squares up here to help me do the two problems that I have to do down there on number 1. So I'm going to use the square to help me do this. And then I'm going to use this square to help me do this one. Okay, so my x squared goes here. I take half of the b term, and then I square it. So that's negative 1x, negative 1x, right? So I have an x minus 1 by x minus 1. And to complete the square, then I only need 1 unit. Okay, so I'm going to come back down to my equation. And I want to add a 1 unit here. Well, I better do that over here as well. Okay, and so now I have completed the square here. I see that that is x minus 1 squared. All right, I've got y squared here. So what's half of 28, right? And it's negative, so I want negative 14y here and negative 14y here. So that would be y minus 14 by y minus 14. So then I have to do 14 times 14 to fill in this portion. So 14 times 14 is 196. Okay, so again, I have to add 196. Better do it to both sides. And, oh, did I copy wrong? I apologize. I did copy wrong. This is a positive, which makes this a positive. So there we go. Those should be positives. Sorry about that. Okay, so this would be plus, that would be y plus 14 squared. And when I do the arithmetic over on the right-hand side, I get 16. So then I have to list what's the center and what's the radius of my circle. Now, don't forget that positive 14, because this is in the form of y minus k. So don't forget positive 14 is minus 14, right? So the center of my circle would be 1, negative 14, and then the radius, I have to take the square root of what's over here. If I don't have a perfect square over here, then I just leave my radius as a radical. All right, so say I came over here and I got 33, right? Then my radius would be radical 33. All right, so here is what we're doing for week 4, day 3 classwork. I would like you to, though, change the 18 or the 20 here to an 18, just to make the problem more interesting. Otherwise, you'll get the exact same answer when you complete the square with the x squared and the y squared term. All right, so please change that to an 18y and complete that and submit it on Canvas for your participation grade.